thank you for being a part of our Zainey fam. Today we have for you a makeup and a movie collab where I do my makeup.
And I talk about a movie.
And today we are doing kind of an interesting collab with a bunch of members of my Geeks and Beauties community. I will leave the link down below if you're interested in participating with that. But basically every month we do a collab together as a group, at least one. And this month the theme is, because of Mother's Day, we were going to do the decade you were born. So for me, that's the 70s. As you guys know, I'm still in the year in 40. I haven't been doing as much as I wanted to, but that's another video. So for the year 40, I was going to do the 70s for this collab. Yes. So we kind of went back and we were looking at movies that came out in the 70s, and a lot of them were movies that came out in the 70s about the 60s or 50s. So we found two, and the first one was Star Wars, and we were like, so cliche. Everyone does Star Wars. So we did, instead,
Superman.
The original with Christopher Reeve. So you are going to hear us talk about that. We did go back and watch it and, you know, talked about that a little bit while we were watching it too, which was interesting, kind of a blast from the past. And at the same time, we are doing a makeup look based on the 70s. More about that in a minute, but before we start, make sure you don't miss any of our interactive opportunities. Like, subscribe, and share this video if you want to. But you should, because it's a cool video. Anyway, if you're looking for our social media information, that'll be right down here for you to follow us. And if you, again, are interested in doing collabs or being a part of like-minded content creators online, make sure you join our Geeks and Beauties group and Facebook, and that'll be right down below. Today I want you to comment and let me know. There have been like 3 different revisions of the Superman franchise. We have the Christopher Reeve version, we have the Brendan Routh version, and we have the, what's his name, the new guy.
Yeah.
The new guy version, Henry Cavill.
Although the second one there was actually supposed to be an extension of the first one.
It was.
It's just with a different Superman and...
Exactly. So comment down below who's your favorite Superman down there of those 3.
And television versions, we'll accept that too, even if you want to go back to the ones that are in black and white.
Exactly. All right, so before we start with the actual movie portion of this, I wanted to kind of tell you about my look for the 70s. I've already done my blush. The 70s was all about really bold, like, cheek color, lip color, and I like dark and sparkly eye color that basically go up to here. And I will be doing that a little bit, yes. But I've already used the cheek color, and I use the Stila, and it is the self-adjusting coral blush, just to, because it's really bright, and you can tell. I mean, look at that. Yes, so we're doing that. And then for my actual eye look, I'm using the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette, which I did swatches of last week, so make sure you go check that out. I'll leave the video down below. And for this palette, I'm going to be using Myth, which is this matte shade. I'm just going to use that all over the base. Dang it, I forgot to put on eye primer. I have to go back and do that. Okay, so I'm putting Myth, which is all over the base, and then I'm going to use this color right here, which is Dream, and it's this like blue color because the 70s, for some reason, they thought blue was the color to go with. Mystic is going to go on the lid, and then I might just kind of place a little bit of Trance, this one right here, also in the crease, on top of it, just so it's not so blue. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm also going to use this clippy that I got from Ricky NYC box to hold my new hair out.
Yep, she just got her hair dyed, and it looks, I like the look of it. Especially as you start getting closer towards the ends of it. It's got a really shocking color that's not too painful. Okay,
so I basically just used the Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk for my base, which makes me look like a clown right now. Look at this happening. All right. Let's do this.
Okay. So Christopher Reeve was like the big thing about this movie. He was actually an unknown pretty much at the time. Not very many people had heard of him. There was 200 other actors that they tried out for this part, and he just nailed it when he was trying out. Other people that were thought of for the role were Sylvester Stallone, Robert Redford, Clint Eastwood, and James Caan. And they also Caan. It looks like Can to me. I can't spell anymore.
No, you just can't pronounce. You can spell just fine.
I guess I can. So one of the things that they had a critique about him was they thought that he was too young, and he was too skinny. So they had him go with David Prowse, the man who was the physical actor for Darth Vader, and had him supervise Christopher Reeve's workout routine. And he went from, what was it? It says 170 pounds to 212 pounds in a period of months. It was so much of a difference that they had to reshoot scenes from pre-production.
I can see that.
So yeah, he looks completely different. One of the other things that was really great about him for this movie, why does he look so natural flying? Have you ever thought about why that is?
Did they put him on a table or what?
He's a hang glider.
Oh, so he was all about that flying life.
This position is totally natural to him.
That is funny.
Yeah.
I never would have known that.
Now, also, his thing of Clark Kent versus Superman, there was a few things in there, not just his performance, which was amazing. He based his character of Clark Kent, see if I can remember the name of the movie, it was from Bringing Up Baby.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he based it off of the main character out of that, the male character. I can't say that I've actually seen that movie.
I have, but, you know, it's funny. It's a funny movie, a comedy. Older.
I'll have to look at it sometime.
Yeah.
And they also parted his hair differently. It was parted on one side for Clark and one side for Superman. But this also extended when he was not shooting, because at one point he was observed going to their cafe in his Superman outfit, and every woman in the place that just saw him just stopped and her jaw dropped. But then one time he went dressed as Clark Kent, and nobody on the backlot even noticed him.
It's probably those big old freaking glasses.
Probably, but also he just knew how to carry himself to be less assuming.
Well, yeah, that's part of it for sure.
Yeah.
But those glasses, like when going back and watching it, I was just like, these glasses are horrible.
Yeah, kind of remind us of our fathers for most of his life. He's gotten smaller ones since then. But since he was an unknown, he didn't get as much recognition on the movie when it first came out. If you watch through the opening credits, he's the third one on the list, despite playing the main character.
Because I think they had the big ones like Marlon Brando. He was pretty big at the time.
And Gene Hackman. They were both Oscar winners.
Yeah.
So that was one of the most amazing things about this movie, was that this almost unknown just completely took over this movie from the big stars that were supposed to be getting the headlines. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Marlon Brando, he's responsible for something that completely changed the storyline, the lore of Superman. The Superman S symbol, when it first came out, was just a human construction that he just put onto his chest to say, hey, I'm Superman. But when they came into this movie, Marlon Brando, who played as Jor-El, Superman's father, was like, what if I wore that symbol and it became a family crest? And so that idea actually comes from Marlon Brando in this movie. And the black S that he wore on set was directly built from the one from the black and white television show.
Very cool.
So it was kind of a flashback to those days.
All right, before we go on, I wanted to show you my eye look. There's not a lot to it. I'm just going to tell you, it is very 70s. Like, and also kind of 80s in a way as well. I really like this palette a lot. Like, the Mystic color is gorgeous on the lids. I feel like it's just so blue. After I do this video, I have to film some others, so I might like have to revamp this look, but yikes. Okay, so the next part of the 70s look is the eye liner. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to very heavily wing out my liner with the Kat Von D Lock-It. And then I'm using this IT Cosmetics No Tug Waterproof Gel Eyeliner to line my lower lash line because... wow. And then, after that, I'm going to use this Noya, it's like a lip gloss, but it's in the shade Malbec. I hate lip gloss, like, with a passion, but I got this in my BoxyCharm, and I actually really like this. I've been using this a lot during the summer, and now that I like this so much, I was kind of doing some research, and I think I might want to get the Sweet Peach oil for lips that's kind of very similar to this one and see if I like it better, because sometimes I just want to put on something really light and not have to worry about actual lipstick. So I've just been reaching for this a lot, which is weird because lip gloss too. But yeah, so this would be great.
Yeah, that's something that we saw really heavily in this movie, was pretty much all the women had really black eyeliner.
Yeah, it was almost
really
like,
intense.
yeah, it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot.
And that brings us to our one big issue about this movie, and that was Margot Kidder.
Yeah, unfortunately. You know, I was having a discussion with a coworker this week about it, because we always talk about, you know, what have we been watching and everything, and I basically said I like the character of Miss Tessmacher in this more than I like Lois Lane because of Margot Kidder. And he was like, oh, she's not that bad. And I'm like, well, yeah, but when you look at, like, I don't know, even since the first time I saw the movie, when you look at this, I'm like, I don't see it. Yeah, she's bumbling, and yeah, I get it, but honestly, she's more of a, like, stumble into it than take initiative and be this strong person and then get caught up in these issues. Like, I don't know, it's just the way it's played is not what I would think of as someone I would look up to as Lois Lane.
She ends up being a lot more of a damsel in distress, and most of that distress is her own fault kind of thing, than the I'm going to push for the truth kind of investigative reporter. Even the cartoons do a better job of Lois Lane than this movie does.
Yes.
So how about we take a moment and go onto the casting couch and see which ones you think would be better from the ones that they had available.
Casting couch, really?
Not exactly casting couch, but you know what I mean. Go back to the casting and see which one that you would prefer.
Okay.
We have Shirley MacLaine, Liza Minnelli, Christina Rains, Barbara Streisand, Natalie Wood, Anne Archer, Leslie Ann Warren, Deborah Raffin, Susan Blakely, April Byron, Carrie Fisher, and Stockard Channing.
Well, let's go ahead and say that Carrie Fisher probably would have done a really good job. However, at the time, she was doing Star Wars. So, obviously, better choice, in my opinion, for her to be doing Star Wars. Mm-hmm. My choice from there would probably be Stockard Channing. If you don't know who that is, she plays Rizzo in the original Grease. If you watch West Wing and you're a fan like I am, she plays Mrs. Bartlett. I believe she would be an amazing Lois Lane. She is such a good actress, and people don't know her enough to know this, but unless you are really into things that she does. She's in First Wives Club, by the way. She kills herself in the first 10 minutes. I'm just saying. But yeah, seriously, you guys, if you don't know who she is, check out some of her stuff. She's awesome. But
she can really portray a woman with initiative and drive very well.
Exactly.
And a woman that does not take no for an answer. She's like, you have to back this up. I really think she would have been one of the best ones for that role.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing. Out of a lot of those actresses, especially those last ones that did get to do a reading, the reason that Margot Kidder was the one that got that role was because in the interview scene between her and Superman, there was one line: what color underwear am I wearing? And all the other ones didn't quite take it the way that the director wanted. Margot Kidder thought that it was a really funny line, and so they're like, you're the one that gets it. She's a chain smoker, so a lot of her voice just is too husky, and this caused a problem for another scene. Right after that, they go flying, and if you have watched this movie and you remember, she's just kind of voice-overing while they're flying. She was supposed to be singing during that scene. All those lines that were spoken were supposed to be sung, but her voice was so bad that Donner was like, no, we're just going to have her voice it over. There was a lot of problems with the budget and with the timeline that Donner had to work with. So much so that he got booted from the second film after filming 75% of it.
Well, it was really funny when we were when we were watching this movie, we were actually laughing because at the beginning when Superman is a baby and he comes in his little capsule towards Earth, there's this this box. Here's the Earth, and there's this box around it of this faint blue outline, if you were in Photoshop or Publisher and you make a box and you crop and then you copy and paste. Like there was no fading out of the edges, nothing. And we were laughing. But then later on, there were like some really good special effects that were like, but yet you couldn't Photoshop the edges out of the, I mean, granted, I understand this was the 70s, but really?
But they spent like millions of dollars in trying to figure out how to make Superman fly. Believe me.
Right. But you can't Photoshop the Earth. No idea.
No color corrected.
Anyway, what else you got?
Well, I've got a lot more, but it looks like you're pretty close to done there.
I am done.
So I think we're done.
Yes. So I know we didn't talk a lot about the actual Superman movie. It is a classic. We just want to give you some fun facts and do this part of it. Honestly, you guys, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do the other videos without looking like a complete clown, because this is pretty spot on with the 70s, but for today, no. No.
I'm really not a fan. I'm just going to be honest.
No. So when we might have to do it.
It's a good thing we went past the 70s.
But this is actually pretty close to what they were doing, especially in that movie. Like they had the, yeah. So let me know what you think of this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching us today. Make sure you join us on Wednesdays, Fridays,
Sometimes Sundays.
and until then,
Stay zany.